Civilizations rise and fall. History has shown us that no empire, no institution, and no society is immune to collapse. With the world more interconnected and fragile than ever, the question is no longer if a collapse could happen, but when and how we'll respond. This is the ultimate guide for anyone seeking not just to survive, but to thrive when modern civilization breaks down. Welcome to the complete Prepper Blueprint. Preppers don't prepare for fantasy. They prepare for history repeating itself. The fall of civilization could come in many forms, and every prepper must consider the full range of plausible threats. Economic collapse is a leading concern. It starts with hyperinflation, job loss, and failing institutions. Eventually, cash becomes worthless, banks shut down, and food disappears from shelves. What begins as a financial crisis quickly devolves into widespread panic and civil disorder. A different threat lies in an EMP attack or widespread power grid failure. Whether caused by a high-altitude nuclear blast or a massive solar flare, such an event would render electronics useless across entire continents. Power, communication, refrigeration, and transportation would vanish overnight, plunging society into darkness and chaos. Pandemics and biological threats have already shown us how quickly society can lock down. Imagine a pathogen even deadlier than we've seen. One that spreads quietly and kills quickly. Hospitals collapse, governments impose curfews, resources become scarce, and fear spreads faster than the disease. Civil conflict or martial law could arise from political polarization or social unrest. If governments fail to maintain legitimacy or lose control of major cities, localized warfare and authoritarian crackdowns may follow. Trust in institutions erodes and neighbors become enemies overnight. Global war, especially nuclear conflict, remains a terrifying but possible scenario. Regional tensions could ignite major powers, and a single miscalculation could lead to devastation on a scale unseen in human history. Environmental collapse is already underway in many places. Droughts destroy farmland, floods displace millions, weather extremes become the new normal, and eventually global supply chains can no longer function. Finally, a modern threat looms in technology itself. Rogue AI, hacked infrastructure, or digital surveillance states could suppress populations and destroy liberty without firing a single shot. In such a world, digital freedom and access to truth may become the most important battlegrounds. Preparing for collapse is not about panic. It's about principles. The foundation of survival rests on 5 interconnected pillars: food, water, shelter, medicine, and mobility. Master them, and you won't just survive. You'll be ready to rebuild. The first pillar is food security. Every person in your household should have at least a year's worth of food, and this means more than stacking cans. Long-term staples like rice, beans, oats, and wheat should form the foundation, but they must be stored properly in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers to prevent spoilage. You should also diversify your food preps with freeze-dried meals, dehydrated fruits, and rotating pantry items to maintain nutritional balance. But most importantly, you must learn to produce your own food. Whether through gardening, raising chickens or rabbits, or building an aquaponics system, the ability to grow and harvest is what separates survival from starvation. Water is next, and it is even more crucial than food. The average human needs at least 1 gallon of water per day for drinking, cooking, and hygiene. Stockpiling bottled water is a short-term solution, but in the long term, you'll need filtration systems like Berkey or Sawyer filters, or learn purification techniques using bleach, iodine, or boiling. Know your environment. Find local rivers, streams, and rainwater collection methods. If you own land, dig a well and secure it. A prepper without water is a prepper waiting to die. Shelter and security make up the third pillar. Your home is your castle, and it must be defensible. Reinforce your doors and windows, install cameras and alarms, and practice defensive drills with your family. If the situation becomes untenable, you need a bug-out location, a second home, or off-grid cabin far from the chaos. This location should be hidden, self-sustaining, and stocked with supplies. Power it with solar panels and backup generators. Learn how to heat and cool it without electricity. Shelter is not just about walls. It's about maintaining safety and sanity in a lawless world. The fourth pillar is medical preparedness. Stockpiling over-the-counter medicine is just the beginning. You need antibiotics, whether sourced through veterinary or fish-based alternatives, along with trauma kits, antiseptics, wound dressings, and tools for basic surgery. Learn CPR, wound stitching, and herbal medicine. In a collapse, hospitals won't help you. You are your own doctor, nurse, and pharmacist. Knowledge is your greatest vaccine. The final pillar is mobility. Not every collapse scenario allows you to stay home. You must prepare to leave at a moment's notice, carrying everything you need to survive the next 72 hours. This means a fully equipped bug-out bag with food, water, shelter, tools, weapons, and documents. Keep a get-home bag in your car in case you're stranded during a crisis. Build an inch bag, I'm never coming home, for total off-grid survival. Always know 3 escape routes, 1 by road, 1 on foot, and 1 by water. A prepper without a plan is a refugee. When modern infrastructure collapses, your gear becomes your lifeline. Choosing the right tools and knowing how to use them can mean the difference between survival and disaster. Communication devices should be at the top of your list. Ham radios and CB radios are indispensable for staying in contact when cell towers go down. Investing in a Faraday cage or Faraday bags will protect your electronics from electromagnetic pulses or solar flares, ensuring your gear remains operational. These radios allow you to receive emergency broadcasts, coordinate with other preppers, and call for help if necessary. Firearms are both a means of protection and a hunting tool. A balanced arsenal includes a reliable 9mm pistol for close encounters, a 12-gauge shotgun for home defense and versatility, an AR-style rifle for longer range and accuracy, and a .22 LR rifle for hunting small game silently and efficiently. Equally important is storing adequate ammunition, spare magazines, and cleaning kits. You must train regularly, not only in marksmanship, but also in safe weapon handling and maintenance. Knives and blades are irreplaceable tools in a world without power. A sharp survival knife can perform dozens of tasks, from food prep to self-defense. Machetes and axes help with clearing brush and cutting firewood. However, owning blades is not enough. You must learn how to sharpen and maintain them. A dull knife is dangerous and ineffective. Multi-tools, solar chargers, and other compact equipment provide versatility without bulk. A good multi-tool combines pliers, screwdrivers, and cutting tools all in one convenient package. Solar chargers ensure your smaller electronics stay powered, reducing reliance on batteries or fuel. Maps and navigation tools are critical. Do not assume GPS will function post-collapse. Mastering compass use and reading topographic maps is essential for route planning and avoiding danger zones. Combine this with knowledge of natural navigation techniques like reading the sun and stars. Finally, your clothing should be functional and durable. Layering allows you to adapt to temperature changes, while waterproof and thermal gear protects you against the elements. Well broken-in boots with good ankle support prevent injury during long treks. Your clothing is your first line of defense against nature itself. Survival is as much mental as physical. Your mindset and social connections will either elevate you or break you in a crisis. Preparation isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. Practice makes perfect. Conduct regular drills with your family or community. Simulate evacuations, practice first aid, and rehearse navigation exercises. The more prepared you are mentally, the less panic will control your actions. Building trust and cooperation within your community multiplies your chances of survival. Form mutual aid groups with families and neighbors who have complementary skills. Shared resources, skills, and protection create a force greater than the sum of its parts. Isolation is dangerous, but dependence on strangers is risky. Mutual trust is your safest path. Teach your children survival skills as part of everyday life. Gardening, first aid, fire starting, and navigation aren't just emergency skills, they're life skills. Approach prepping as a positive, empowering activity rather than one rooted in dread. Resilience grows from confidence and competence. No single step guarantees survival. True preparedness is an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and evolving. Diversify your preparations. Storing food is vital, but so is learning how to grow it, how to fix your tools, and how to improvise when things break. Flexibility and creativity are your allies. Operational security, OPSEC, is critical. Avoid broadcasting your stockpiles or plans. Criminals and desperate people may seek to take what you have. Keep your prepping activities discreet to protect yourself and your family. Remember, prepping is not paranoia. It's prudence. A prepared individual is a beacon of stability in chaotic times. Quietly prepare. Live fully. And when the collapse comes, you won't just survive, you'll be ready to rebuild a better world.